Alright, what's up guys? We're gonna end up doing it, the Enhancement Shaman. It's gonna be nice, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be real. We'll get to it here in just a few moments. So glad to finally be bringing this one to you guys. It looks fun as hell. I've seen a couple things on it myself when I've seen him playing in a few of the dungeons I've done, and I tell you what, they look fun. We'll find out exactly what's going on here in just a few. Got about 3 minutes to get everyone lined up. We're going to go straight into opening the class hall, which is first for them, and then we'll get into the artifact quest. Or, I'm sorry, you kind of do a little mix in there of halfway opening the class hall into the artifact quest and then into actually opening it. All the shaman end up running the same, but I have not done enhancement. I'm pretty excited about the Doombringer. We'll see that here in a few. Just waiting for a couple other people to get set up, but at 9 o'clock we get this baby rocking and rolling. Alright, so here we are right at the 9 o'clock hour, and we're going to start this thing off and start it off right, just like every single time. We're going to go through what abilities are left, and then we'll go through the talents. Currently what you end up seeing here, that's about it guys. There's not a lot down on the bars. You've got Ancestral Spirit, which is your res. Ascendance is now a talent, just like every other class, or every other spec of the Shaman. They took Ascendance away and made it a talent. Astral Recall is basically your secondary hearth. Astral Shift, damage reduction, 40% damage reduction. Bloodlust is still obviously with the Shaman for a cooldown. Cleanse Spirit, basically you just get to remove curses from yourself. Crash Lightning is a new ability. Electrocutes all enemies in front of you, dealing 4,400 base. Not a lot of damage, guys. Hitting 2 or more targets enhances your weapons for 10 seconds, causing Storm Strike and Lava Lash to also deal damage to all targets in front of you. So instead of having Fire Nova like we used to, and having that spread and doing mass amounts of damage if there's a bunch of ads out there, basically this is going to allow you to do kind of the same thing, but both your Lava Lash and Storm Strike are going to do additional cone or damage to all the targets that are in front of you, so cone damage. Fun times. We'll see how this one plays out. Again, I haven't done anything with this guy. We're going to play into it. Farsight's still here. Basically, that just lets you see from a certain different location that's visual. Feral Spirits still our cooldown. It's going to summon our 2 Spirit Wolves, and they're going to aid us for 15 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown. They also grant you 5 Maelstrom each time they attack, so this means you're going to be able to do some larger cooldowns. Flame Tongue. Change this up a bit. Instead of it being always on there after you activate it, basically what this is going to do is it's a cooldown now. And what it's going to do is scorch your target, dealing X amount of fire damage, and then enhance your weapons with fire, causing each weapon attack to deal fire damage based on weapon speed. Nothing too insane there, guys. We'll see how that one plays. Frostbrand, again, another change. Chills your target, dealing frost damage, but instead of doing extra damage each swing, it's going to cause movement speed to be reduced by 50% for 3 seconds. They've really kind of gone with this low level cooldown stuff on how you want to end up going. Each one's going to cost, this one doesn't cost any Maelstrom. It's instant with a 10-yard range, but Frostbrand costs 20 Maelstrom. Ghost Wolf's always the same. You have Healing Surge, just a basic heal, consumes up to 20 Maelstrom if available to become instant. So the more Maelstrom you have, the faster you'll be able to cast this thing, or if you have full 20, it'll be an instant cast. Hex, same difference, just a regular standard CC. Lava Lash, little change. Charges your offhand weapon with lava and burns your target, dealing fire damage. That not a whole lot of a change, but it's there. Lightning Bolt's had a huge change for enhancement, though. Fires a bolt of lightning at the target, dealing nature damage. It is instant, so it's just, I guess, something to do at a range. Lightning Surge Totem, it's talent. I'll get into that here in a minute. Purge is still there, removes magic. Rock Biter is spammable now. It's basically your spam ability. It assaults your target with earthen power, dealing nature damage, and generates 10 Maelstrom. Your main Maelstrom generator right here, guys. And then you've got Spirit Walk, removes all movement impairing effects, and increases your movement speed. Pretty good to get out of some hairy situations if you feel you're going to be standing in something to die. Storm Strike is here. 12.8 second cooldown. Energizes both of your weapons with lightning and delivers a massive blow to your target, dealing a total of 31,000. This is your big hit, guys. It's also 13 second cooldown, I believe it is, reduced by haste. Then you've got Water Walking. Self-explanatory. It lets you walk on water. Wind Shear is still your interrupt. And then we'll get into the passives here. Maelstrom weapon. Each time you deal damage with a melee weapon, you generate 5 Maelstrom. Haste seems like it's going to be a big issue here, guys. Mastering Enhanced Elements. Increase your chance to trigger Stormbringer and Wind Fury by 4.6%. Increase all Fire, Frost, and Nature damage you deal by 36.82. Just by looking at it, from the beginning, it looks like Haste Mastery is going to be the big one. Reincarnation allows you to same as any of the classes, guys. It's going to let you reincarnate, come back to life mid-fight without using a battle res. Stormbringer, passive. Each time your main hand attack has 8% chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Storm Strike and cause your next Storm Strike to cost 50%. This is another reason why I say haste is looking really important for these guys. Storm Lash, while your weapons are enhanced, your attacks have a chance to grant Storm Lash to up to 2 party or raid members for 8 seconds, causing attacks and spellcasts to deal additional nature damage. So you also get to buff 2 party or raid members, and there's also a talent in there that'll let you do a 3rd party or raid member for extra overall damage, guys. They're really bringing the passive buffs as you end up damaging while you're alive to the field instead of just putting it right there on the side. So, very last one is Wind Fury. It's passive. Each of your main attacks has an 8% chance to trigger 3 extra attacks, dealing 1,400. Very minimal damage, guys, but 3 attacks at it, it's not too bad. And again, those probably have a chance to crit, but with haste and mastery, you're looking at some pretty good damage from the looks of it. We'll see how it goes from live, but currently that's what it's looking like. I believe that's what it is on live right now for stats. So there's that, and we're going to take a real quick look at talents here. Level 15, you've got Windsong. It's another cooldown, 45-second cooldown. Lashes your enemy for some damage, and enhances your weapons with wind, increasing your attack speed by 20% for 15 seconds. I did originally want to end up taking this one, but I wasn't 100% sure on how it would play. And then you've got Hot Hand. It's passive. Melee attacks with Flame Tongue active also make your next Lava Lash cost no Maelstrom and deal 100% increased damage. I took the passive here just because I feel I'll forget using this thing while we're questing and learning the class. Maybe after I learn it and I bring you some dungeon play a little later on, we'll test this one out. And then you've got Boulder Fist. It replaces your Rock Biter. Mind you, your Rock Biter is your main Maelstrom generator. Instant 4.78 second recharge. Slam your target with the power of stone, dealing decent nature damage and enhancing your weapon for 10 seconds, increasing all critical strike chance by 10% and damage you deal by 5%. This sounds really awesome, guys. It's got 2 stacks, but that recharge is going to be killer on your other abilities and the lack of Maelstrom. 25 Maelstrom, it's a little on the rough side, and that might be a little tough to do. You'll have to play this thing really interesting, so maybe after you get a bit more haste and you're building more off your auto attacks, this might be good. Level 30, you've got Rainfall. I love the utility of this thing. It's instant, it's a 10-second cooldown, blankets the target area in healing rain, restoring minor health to up to 6 allies for 10 seconds. Storm Strike and Lava Lash extend the duration of Rainfall by 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 30 seconds. So this is a conductivity built into Healing Rain, and they've changed it and called it Rainfall. And it seems really nice. It seems like it's going to be a real good raid utility more than anything. And then you've got Feral Lunge, which is the next one. It's instant. It's a 30-second cooldown. Lunge at your enemy as a ghostly wolf, biting them to deal. This is just a gap closer if you really need it. I don't see that being too interesting, but we'll see. And then Windrush Totem is basically Stampeding Roar in the form of a totem. 45, Lightning Surge Totem. This is the new Capacitor Totem, guys. Basically, after 3 seconds, it'll explode and stun all the mobs in range. Earth Grab Totem, Mass Roots. That's basically all this thing's going to do is root them and then slow them. Voodoo Totem's a Mass Hex. It replaces Hex. Again, I mean, these are some sort of CC, guys. This is your CC group in the totems, and I enjoy the Capacitor Totem. I feel it's a better utility to end up stopping the damage on the tank. It just feels like it's got a little bit more utility at this point, unless they aren't sunnable, then this would be good. Level 60, you've got Lightning Shield, but it's back. It's in the form of a talent. Surround yourself with a shield of lightning for 1 hour, which has a chance to deal very little nature damage when you deal or take melee damage. So it's basically acting the same as it does on live, guys, except now it's a talent. Ancestral Swiftness. I took this because of, well, the increased attack speed. It passively increases haste and attack speed by 10%. And then you've got Sundering. Yes, this is the ability from Thrall in HOTS. Basically, you shatter a line of earth in front of you, causing large physical damage and knocking enemies to the side. I know as a tank, whenever I'm tanking, whenever you start doing knockbacks or knockarounds with stuff, it really, really pisses me off. Because then I gotta try and run around and make sure an enemy doesn't get behind me, and it's annoying. So I decided I was gonna stay away from this thing and try something a little bit different. So that's why we went with the Swiftness, and Lightning Shield just seems bland. Tempest, passive. Stormbringer now affects next 2 Storm Strikes, and again, that's Stormbringer is the passive that has a chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Storm Strike and cause your next Storm Strike to cost 50 less energy and trigger no cooldown. So basically, you would get 2 in a row instead of 1. Overcharge, passive. Lightning Bolt now consumes up to 60 Maelstrom for up to 1,500 or 15,000%. Sorry, 1,500% increased damage, but has 7.2 second cooldown. Basically, you're going to build up and charge your Lightning Bolt before you use it. It's still going to be an instant cast, but with a cooldown now. Very interesting setup. It's going to make it to where Lightning Bolt's going to be part of your rotation again. So instead of building up Maelstrom charges and then using the Lightning Bolt like you do on live now, you would just build up Maelstrom and then try and use it after 60. But I went with Landslide. Rock Biter now also enhances your weapon, increasing your attack power by 20% for 10 seconds. That just seemed a little bit better. Crashing Storms, level 90. Crash Lightning also electrifies the ground, leaving an electrical field behind, which damages enemies. Basically, this is going to leave a pool of crap for the enemy mobs to end up killing themselves on. Hailstorm, Frostbrand now also enhances your weapon's damage, causing each of your weapon attacks to also deal 493 frost damage. I guess if you're PvPing and you're using it a lot to slow people, keep them tracked down, this would be better. Empowered Stormlash. Its passive Stormlash now spreads to one additional target and deals 30% additional damage. That's the buff that you've got. Basically, it's going to end up buffing the other people to do additional nature damage, and this ends up doing an additional 30% on top of it and one additional person. Then your level 100s, or last little bit here, you've got Ascendance, and again, this is now a talent. It's 3-minute cooldown. Turns you into an air ascendant for 15 seconds, generating 4 Maelstrom per second, and transforming your auto attacks, and Storm Strike into wind attacks, which bypass armor and have a 30-yard range. Just a huge cooldown, guys. Really nice to end up having. And then Fury of Air creates a vortex of wind 8 yards around you, dealing very little damage every 1 second to enemies caught in the storm and slowing them. Again, this is more of an AE setup, so we'll go there. And then Earthen Spike. This one looks cool also. Summons an Earthen Spike under an enemy, dealing decent physical damage and increasing physical and nature damage you deal to the target by 10% for 10 seconds. So that's that. How we doing today? Alright, so we're going to get right into the quest here to start getting our new artifact weapon. Again, I have done nothing with enhancement at all. I have played a lot of Elemental, though. This guy is fresh. It's a level 100, but it is fresh on the alpha. Yeah, basically going through, we're gonna check out, get the artifact, and then hopefully end up getting into a dungeon right after, just to see how this thing's playing from the fresh aspect. Item level 680. Just went over the talents and abilities also. Seems pretty decent. They've cut out a lot, but we'll see how it actually plays. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have you checked out any of the other videos? And do you have any main focus that you're looking at coming into the Legion Alpha? Alright, here we are in the Maelstrom. Time to open this bad boy up. Do this little intro quest for the artifact. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's a I've got a lot of different videos out there right now. With the way that it's been changing lately, it's kind of hard to keep up with everything. But if you want to go ahead and check out a couple of the others, and if you're interested, just leave me a message. I'll try and get to whatever you're wanting to end up seeing more of. And this thing is spammy. There's that crash lightning. It's playing pretty good. This is the Legion Alpha. This is the new X-Pack coming up. This expansion is the new one that's coming out, so I'm just basically doing a test run of all the new classes, or the class changes, just to get them out there so people can see, you know, they've got curiosities of how their class is going to play next X-Pack. I've got a bunch of different, in live I've got basically everything, Horde side. I do prefer trolls for the most part. This new rainfall ability is really interesting. It's kind of nice having that padded little heal to rely on. I think the utility on it's going to be real nice come live and raid. So far, enhancement shamans feel like they've got a real good pace going on. Compared to some of them to where they're really slow, this has a really nice feel on the actual pace. So far, enhancement shaman guys, if you like making sure that you've always got something to do, it feels like it. We've only killed 4 mobs, but at the same time, you can always tell right off the bat usually how it's playing. Survivability feels good just because of the way Maelstrom plays into your heals. I like trolls mainly. I like the models, but the other thing too is the berserking cooldown. 3-minute cooldown increases your haste by 15% for 10 seconds. It lines up usually pretty well with other cooldowns, like this Ascendance one right here. What kind of pets? Talking about like in game or home?
Loktar, friend. What is it you wish?
Alright, we're gonna go enhancement. The Doomhammer has fallen into the Maelstrom. It would be wise to keep it from falling into the wrong hands. Travel with Thrall into Deepholm to pursue the missing artifact. Beware, the demon Gethzun also plummeted into the Maelstrom and may still be alive. Alright, so here's the Doomhammer. A stranger will rise the hammer high, and with it justice shall reign. And they created through the powers of Doomhammer and the power of Shaman who wields it. Very nice. Take a little bit more look into that. The only thing that the Enhancement Shaman ends up getting in game, I mean, I've got a lot of like the non-combat pets also. I don't do any of the pet battle stuff, but this guy here, he doesn't actually have any pets. It'll go, except for the feral spirits, that's it. And down into the Maelstrom we go. I believe he plays a pretty big part in Warlords of Draenor. I don't usually focus a lot on the actual lore, be quite honest with you. I mainly focus on the gameplay, how things are playing. It's bad of me, I know, but that's just the way I go. But I believe Garmash is Garash's father, and he does play a part in Warlords of Draenor. Currently in this build, though, the Legion Alpha. In the Legion Alpha, that we're kind of switching more towards the demon influence and all that stuff that basically happened in Warlords of Draenor never happened, which is kind of a weird deal. That was like some second dimension time twist stuff. I don't know how to explain it. Looks like we got to do some questing for Therazane here. Find out exactly what she wants done. Opalescent Guardians rebuilt, Felrock Trog slain, and Stone Drakes. Go kick some butt over here. This new light shafting looks really cool. Yeah, definitely pretty beefy to its current live situation where everything was on cooldown basically, and you're just waiting for procs. It does help out quite a bit to have that extra button, increases the gameplay a bit. See, and that's stuff right there that I wouldn't have known. I don't really get too much in the lore, unfortunately. Feels like this is doing some really good damage. Especially with that new Crash Lightning, the AE damage is pretty nice. Yeah, I would not be the guy to ask, that's for sure. I know a lot of people that really get into the lore, but I'm not that guy. Be straight up with you. There's a lot to get involved with, but that's not one of them. Not for me. Really digging the spec so far. I may have to end up swapping my Shaman from Elemental main to Enhancement if it keeps playing like this. It even feels like Crash Lightning does really good on a single target. Yeah, really solid damage coming out of this class so far. More than likely I would. But I'm limited for a lot of time as it is. I mean, I get into it once it's live a little bit. I'll actually play through the quests and read everything, but I don't usually get hooked too hard. At least I didn't through Warlords. Warlords was really a disappointment because it's all lore that really now in this expansion never really existed. So I don't know how to end up putting that really. Neither does Blizzard in good context. The whole last expansion basically never happened. When they started posting stuff like that, that really kind of disappointed me. Yeah, they're part of this quest. They seem to be doing some work too. Yeah, they're doing a lot of work. Yeah, this quest so far is pretty interesting. Just killing trogs mainly, but let's test out some of the cooldowns here. Survivability on this class is pretty good also, as long as you keep damaging. Like, I've played a couple other specs, and if I would have done that on any one of the other specs, they would have just been destroyed. Yeah, just absolutely destroyed if I would have done that anywhere else. Take these guys to where they need to go up here. This feels like an old quest that I'm doing. I might be wrong, but this feels like an older quest. Felt like something you had to do in Deep Home back when it was live. But, not this part. This is a little different. Alright, so now we get to fly back to Therazane. The new graphics engine that they're playing with looks really nice, guys. I mean, the colors are a lot crisper. The new light shafting, it's all real nice stuff. Alright, let's get these turned in. I want to see this weapon. I do dabble with a couple other games. I've played Borderlands 1 and 2. Both of those were pretty decent. But as for the live streaming, most of my stuff's going to stick around Blizzard games. WoW, Overwatch when it comes out. I've always been a big Blizzard fan since Diablo 1, Lost Vikings. Played a lot of their different games way back in the beginning and been stuck with them for a long time. That and Blizzard's probably one of the more friendly ones to end up working with when it comes to content. pop all our cooldowns and just destroy this guy. But yeah, I do play plenty of other games. As for other MMOs though, I haven't found one that I've enjoyed. That's taken me away from WoW. I mean, I played Final Fantasy, I played Ion, I played just about any of them that have come out, and none of them really have seemed to top the cake. You know, that's about it. I used to play League of Legends, and Blizzard came out with HOTS, and HOTS is a lot more casual friendly because I don't end up having a lot of time to end up putting into, you know, a MOBA style game. And HOTS really ended up coming out, and I play that one. Me and some friends sit down and destroy stuff on it every now and then. I really don't think they change this place too terribly much, except for the new graphics driver, guys, and it looks good. Just all the new particles. Oh no, that's fine. Hey, I enjoy the interaction, man. If you got questions, ask them. Even if it is a repeat, I'm not gonna worry too much about it.
Welcome to Orgrimmar. Have you come to serve the Horde?
Alright, so looks like Thrall and I are gonna use Therazine's portal to travel to the Crumbling Depths and recover the Doomhammer. Let's go, let's go.
Loktar, friend. What is it you wish?
So it looks like the demon that got knocked down here is tearing a lot of a lot of the enemies up, but he's bleeding pretty bad. That's what the green little spots are. So far, the AE damage is absolutely insane. Such an enjoyable spec right now, guys. Oh, man. See why they ended up doing this for Enhanced Shaman, because any other class probably would not survive this. The personal heals, the defensives. The AE is just absolutely crazy. It seems like Crash Lightning works great for single target, 2 targets, and multiples. Just because of that little bit of extra damage, and only at 20 Maelstrom, it's really nice. It's kind of weird. Alright. Oh, okay. It's kind of bugged. I don't know what this is, unless this is worms. Alright, they brought the old-fashioned stuff back. I pulled way too many. Alright, so 1 pack of deals first. That was a lot of damage. My favorite place on WoW. Oh man. In Live or on Legion? On the new X-Pack, because there are some really nice looking places in the new X-Pack.
I need a target.
Apparently I broke these guys. I tell you what, on Live, one of my favorite places actually end up being, oddly enough, is it's probably still, oh, it's tough because in current content on WoD, there's not really any place. But Old School in the Grand used to be one of my favorite. And then when you get to the Legion stuff, they've got the place going into the Druid class hall, the Dream Grove, where they've got all the portals. That place is absolutely gorgeous right now on the Alpha. Really good damage and survivability, guys. Always something to enjoy, being able to keep yourself topped off and being able to just nuke the crap out of something if it needs to. Very nice. Enjoyable. It seems like single target and AE damage is going to be all the basic same rotation. Crash Lightning seems to work really good on single target also. And then basically after it's set down, all your other abilities are going to hit a secondary target, as you can see. Really nicely played. And then every ability you do while they're in Crash Lightning single target's just going to add that extra damage. Well worth it. And nothing says loving like some free healing. There it is, buddy. The Doom Hammer. Yeah, the expansion, like I said, there's current and live again. The Grand, the old school one, that was always a real favorite chill place with the islands up above. You just sit on the island, look around the whole entire zone. And then you had in the expansion, the Dream Grove, is absolutely amazing looking. Looks like we've got to break these pillars. Going straight for the Doom Hammer, buddy. Oh, had another program wanting to open up. Alright, there we go. Random scary face coming up at you guys. Sitting here in my shirtless wonder. I have not Wizard 101. Yeah, this is feeling a little OP, guys. Way too simple for that.
May the ancestors watch.
There it is. We have the Doom Hammer. Flying back. Fury the Stone Mother is the offhand. That's kind of cool. Building Therazane right into this thing.
I was born to fly.
The Doom Winds ability. I'll be glad to see that here in just a second.
Go on.
Getting ready to open up the class hall. The imagery in this class hall is great also. Just being able to overlook the Maelstrom looks really nice. Again, I've done both Restoration and Elemental already. And Enhancement's playing really well also, guys. Lots of people, you know, have been looking at the Shamans quite a bit lately. Everybody loved it all the way up until this last X-Pack where Blizzard decided they wanted to completely destroy the Shaman spec,
You need
except for Restoration.
to you. So long.
Get our butts moving down here to the altar. So far, so good. Enjoying the class. In fact, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start us on the queue. Alright, the Doom wins. Instant 45-second cooldown. Unleash the inner power of the Doom Hammer, causing all auto attacks to trigger Wind Fury and increase the damage of Wind Fury by 400% for 6 seconds. Wow. So basically, you're going to swing like crazy on every auto attack. And do 400%. That's insane. That sounds like it's going to just destroy the heck out of everything. And then Hammer of Storms, our first one. It's passive. Damage of Storm Strike increased by 15%. Let's take it. Gonna end up reading through the rest of these artifacts in this tree, and I love the talent tree ideas. Just absolutely nice. And here we go. Gathering Storms. Passive. Each target hit by Crash Lightning increases damage of your next Storm Strike within 12 seconds by 2%. So, I'm guessing that'll stack up. So if you got 5 targets, that'll be 10%. That'll be pretty insane. I don't know. We'll have to test that later on. That'll stack up to 3 times. Spirit of the Maelstrom, passive. While in combat and in Ghost Wolf form, you generate 5 Maelstrom every 2 seconds. Yeah, more Maelstrom, please. That's going to be huge damage. Wind Strikes, passive. When Storm Fury activates, you gain 3% attack speed for 5 seconds. Another awesome ability. Storm Fury also increases the damage of Storm Strike by 50%. Cool. Weapons of Elementals, passive. Damage of Flame Tongue, Rockbiter, and Frostbrand increased by 3%. Wow. So far, everything's just been a pretty big damage increase. 3% doesn't seem like much, but when you rank that 3 times, 9%, that's a lot. Forge in Lava, damage of Lava Lash increased by 3%. Storm Strike has a 30% chance to deal 40% of damage in an extra time. This effect can chain off of itself. So basically, if you can hit Storm Strike and have it cause a multi-strike, basically, that's kind of awesome. That's going to be a lot of damage. So our first gold one we're coming to is Unleash Doom. It's passive. Storm Strike has a chance to cause Doomhammer to unleash the power of the elements, causing your special attacks to upheave molten rocks or spikes of lightning that damage your target for medium fire or nature damage. So basically it's going to end up jumping. See you later, buddy. So basically what this is saying is you'll have a random either molten lava or lightning bolts that end up coming out of the target doing random damage. That's cool. I don't like the random stuff so much as the controlled abilities, so we'll see how it plays. You've got Doom Wolves. The Doom Hammer will imbue your feral spirits with either fire, frost, or lightning properties, granting them an extra unique ability. Okay, so this is going to be a little more on cooldown, but it's going to be random also. Again, the random stuff's really hard to end up playing with. It could be fun, but I'm not 100% sure how that's going to play out. Elemental Healing, passive. When you activate Astral Shift, you will heal yourself for 10% of your maximum health over 15 seconds. So a little bit of self-healing involved. Alright, with your defensive cooldown. Surge of the Elements, passive. Increase the damage of your Frostbrand, Flame Tongue, and Rockbiter attacks by 3%. Again, guys, they're doing the insane amount of overall damage. And what's cool about this is the way that the Elemental Enhancement Shaman plays out. As long as Crash Lightning's down, you're doing insane damage to everybody behind there, because this with Crash Lightning, again, hitting 2 or more targets enhances your weapons for 10 seconds, causing Storm Strike and Lava Lash to also deal nature damage to all targets in front of you. Are these going to increase that? I'm not 100% sure, but this is going to be an awesome deal if they do, because it's going to not only increase your single target, but it's going to increase your AE targeting also. Alpha Wolf. While feral spirits are active, if you use Crash Lightning, your wolves will also use area attacks for the next 10 seconds. This is cool. I like this. If you get caught into a huge issue of damage, guys, and you need to actually put a whole lot of AE damage down, this is going to be the way to go. Feral Spirits, being a 2-minute cooldown and throwing Crash Lightning. If you got a boss fight to where, you know, even if it's every minute, every 2 minutes, you'll be able to throw this down and just probably nuke the hell out of them. And our last gold star ability is going to be Doom Vortex. It's passive. When you use Lava Lash, Doomhammer has a chance to release a fiery tornado at your target, lasts for 3 seconds, and deals small fire damage to enemies within 3 yards. So again, this is going to be your AE side from the looks of it. We do have 2 more things to look at here. Spiritual Healing. Increases the healing from Healing Surge by 10%. So more survivability. And then you've got Gathering of the Maelstrom. Rockbiter generates an additional 1 Maelstrom. So from 10, I believe it is, to 11. So, and that'll be 13. It doesn't seem like a lot, but since you're spamming it, that's 3 stacks. It'll be 13. It'll do pretty good. Alright, now what everybody wants to end up seeing. Let's look at the skins here. And your base model, Doomhammer. Looks pretty sharp. I mean, the color schemes are a little odd, but the main one, obviously, that's going to be classic Doomhammer for you guys. And then we've got the Stormbringer. That looks sexy. Absolutely gorgeous. You can just see where the lightning is cracked through it, and it's just pulsating with power. That's cool. Looks meaty. It looks like it'll hurt. Legion's Doom's the next model. Here it is. Oh. Very nice. Pretty spiky. And then Black Hand's Fate is your PvP one. Let's see exactly how this thing looks. That's not too bad. Basically, it gives it like a Forge Master look. I think the Stormbringer is probably my more favorited one. And then the offhand's supposed to be changing with whatever the you decide to end up choosing there. So we'll see exactly what it looks like later on. Alright, so that's it. That's the artifact quest. That's the artifact. What we're going to go into next is going to be some general questing. We are waiting for our queue, so hopefully we'll get our queue. But right now we're going to take a real quick break, guys, and then we'll be back in about 5 minutes. And we are back. Let's get jumping right into this. We're gonna select an area to go quest in, test it out in the open world, guys. And then we'll hopefully get to jump into a dungeon here not too much longer. 10 minutes in queue, still waiting for basically everything. Check out High Mountain. Done Azuna the past couple times.
Live another day.
Hopefully we can like usual, guys, if I get the dungeon queue even 1 minute before the noon o'clock hour, which is when I usually cut off of here, we'll go ahead and run the dungeon. We've only been streaming for an hour and 9 minutes, so hopefully that won't be the case. We'll get some good dungeon time in, and maybe even get 2 of them, just to see how this thing's playing right now. And so far, doing the quest line, it's playing really well. I mean, extremely well. I'm enjoying it. Single target AE, it's all playing out really well.
Greetings. Till next week.
We're gonna fly to High Mountain and see how this thing's doing in the real world, or in the open world, not just the quest line to get the weapon. As you can see, it's Doom Hammer. It's a beautiful piece. Skins are all right. I mean, they could go the extra mile with it, but they're always changing. I believe they just changed the Fury Warrior one from being 2 swords. They actually changed it to 2 axes, I believe. I don't know if that's implemented yet, but they have released the new model look. So how we doing today, guys? Doing a little flyover of Saramar and the rest of the zones as we end up getting ready to head to High Mountain and test out the Enhancement Shaman in the open world. All while waiting for a dungeon queue to see how it's doing in dungeons. Quality specs so far, guys. I really got to say it's doing really well. I was pretty impressed on how it handled not only single target, but how it handled on the AoE situations. They basically run the same rotation, and it's kind of odd. We no longer have Fire Nova, no longer have Flame Shock, but instead what you have is Crash Lightning. And this thing used on single target or AE, what it does is it's basically causing an additional bit of damage to splash. It's kind of like a controlled AoE, because Fire Nova, we all know that was not controlled. The more there was, the higher you would spike, and you know, currently on live, I mean, you get a good AE trash pack, and well, you've got some enhancement shamans that are spiking to 6, 7, 800k in damage that are well geared, and even the ones that aren't are doing an insane amount. But it seems like they've done some really good tuning to it, guys. Good survivability. I really have nothing to say bad about this spec at all. But we haven't gotten it into an actual dungeon either. Really good raid utilities to it. Lightning Bolt is still here. You can get it to where it buffs up through Maelstrom on one of your talents. But currently it's just like a basic pull. Wait for this guy to do his normal walk around. Get into the question and see how we're doing. This is a fresh level 680 tune. It's showing 688 because of 750 artifact weapon. But yeah, we'll see exactly how it's going in. If you've got an Enhancement Shaman on live currently, you're going to be tearing it up through most of this more than likely. Maybe 1-2 shot and stuff. Who knows? Looks like the elevator may still be broken. That's never a good thing. I'm not going to jump because that's death. Can't fly either, so... Pray that we hit water, and nope. Yep, woohoo! I thought I was gonna go splat on the rocks there. Yeah, there's a few things in Alpha that are still getting worked on, guys, and one of them apparently is elevators. I guess they're having a hard time with those, because it's been about 2 or 3 builds that the elevators have not been working over here. I've been avoiding it just for that reason until they get it fixed, and still not getting it fixed. But that is the way of Alpha. There is ways around it, but, you know, for some reason Tauren like elevators, and I just don't get it. Why would a cow want to be that far up on a rock? No idea. The green screen maps are still in. So, I was talking about survivability earlier, and the only actual cooldown that you have off of this is going to be your Astral Shift, 1.5 minute cooldown and 40% reduction in damage. But you get a lot of self-healing through Healing Surge. Basically, it'll consume 20 Maelstrom and make it instant cast and still heal you for the same amount. Really nice. It helps out on while you're beating things up, you can just keep on going, not having to worry about sitting down or nothing. And the other thing is this Rainfall. It's actually a talent. You've got Lightning Shield in there, which does more damage. You've got this, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong area. Rainfall, which is basically, they took Healing Rain and Conductivity and put it into one talent for the enhancement. And this is nice, guys. Basically, it gives you some raid utility. Throw it down there and just beat things up for 30 seconds, and then you can end up reapplying it back down. So it's going to give you some raid utility when you get further on down the line to help pad some of the healing. And then Feral Lunge is the other one. It's just a gap closer. I don't see any point in this thing being here at all. It's basically they took the one that we had in the first few builds where you did the whole tornado thing and leap forward and turned it into Ghost Wolf form. And then Windrush Totem, no change on that one. It's just Stampeding Roar in a totem form. Works nice. Let's get over here and start killing some stuff, though. Like I said, you can just drop this, give you a little bit more. Here goes Crash Lightning. And you can just watch that AE damage. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up real quick. Go ahead and pop our cooldown. That artifact cooldown really makes you blister shit. Holy cow, that guy went from like 75% health down to nothing. That was awesome. Totally enjoyable. And that's on a 45-second cooldown. That is insane. That's a lot of damage, guys. And on a 45-second cooldown, I can see to where that's going to be considered overpowered. Wow. It just nukes right through them. Most of the specs and classes that you end up running with right now, at least you know, freshly made on the 680 item level, they do about what the speed is right now without using it. And then we'll just pop herself up. Beautifully done. So I think my my shaman might be going from main elemental to main enhance. Yeah, this is probably one of the fastest killing specs that I've played in this whole alpha build currently. That being said, I haven't played very many of the DPS specs, but the ones that I have played have been pretty solid. Arcane did well, but it only had 3 buttons, man. It was pretty boring. I mean, I think it's only got like 3 buttons live anyways, so... This is just an enjoyable class to end up playing for killing. I mean, honestly, this will be a fun class for farming. How's that? You'll actually enjoy yourself as little as you usually do whenever it comes to farming. But this thing killing stuff is it's fast, it's spammy, and it feels enjoyable, guys. Yeah, no complaints. This thing's just doing its thing, and it's doing it well. Really want to see what this is doing in a dungeon. We're 3 of 3 on the DPS. We're still needing a tank and healer. It's always the tough part.
Go in peace. Be careful.
Our very first upgrade, I think. I don't know. It's got more mastery on it.
Peace, friend. Go in peace. Ancestors watch over you.
Oh. Doing some questing on this guy. Currently it's just... Oh, excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat here. Currently it's just destroying the competition, guys. I can't say it enough, but I believe I've got a new main spec for my shaman. We still got a lot of work that needs to be done on this thing. Being that it's still Legion Alpha, it's going to probably be adjusted quite a bit more, but currently it's playing nicely. I do enjoy Elemental on the Alpha also, but this is just so spammy. It always has something to do. The Doom Hammer artifact ability seems a little on the overpowered side. It does an insane amount of damage for a 45-second cooldown.
Looking for something special.
And that's only going to increase once you increase your attack power. Single target and AE abilities seem to be just about the same gameplay. Basically, you're going to want to use Crash Lightning and then run through the rest of your abilities that are lit up. I mean, it's going to light it up for you. Your small cooldowns are Storm Strike and Lava Lash still. And then Rock Biter is in there, but it's now a spammable ability. Basically, what you're going to do with it is generate well, you're just generating more Maelstrom. That's basically what it is. This is your build up, and then these are your releases. Crash Lightning is nice. It's the way you start your AE, but it's also seeming really strong on single target. So I don't think you're really having to change the rotation too much. Just make sure Crash Lightning's down, and then go through the rest of your single target ability. And that's how you're going to AE also. Now watch, I'll use this, we're going to use the Maelstrom cooldown and watch this guy just disappear. Insane amount of damage off of that thing. Absolutely retarded amounts of damage, guys. It shouldn't end up being that strong, especially on a 45-second cooldown. Your damage is going to be nuts. Open world feels good. Questing feels nice. Let's go ahead and drop down some Crash Lightning, and we'll make these guys pay. We're gonna make this guy just disappear on this. Absolutely insane, that artifact ability. Does so much damage. Yes, and here it is. We've got our dungeon. Let's kick this thing into overdrive. As long as we can get this other DPS. I believe this is the Halls of Valor, and it is. So level 100 Halls of Valor, guys. We're going to go ahead and burn through this thing. Want to see exactly how this is playing out.
Long have I awaited noble champions to enter my realm. Behold, the halls of valor. This place will test your might. And if you are found guilty, the Aegis of Agramar will be...
Just... This group just destroyed the hell out of this first set of mobs. This is... I don't know what the... who's doing the most damage on this. I'm not running any combat logs. But this is insane. Looks like we've got a Demonology Warlock that we've got me and a Demon Hunter. So, huge amounts of AE damage, guys. And we just popped our artifact ability. We're going to tear up this dragon. Huge amounts of damage. Holy crap. We'll go ahead and lust on this guy and just burn him to the ground if we can.
The undeserving will perish. Strike riders, come in!
Oh, looks like they finally fixed the fire lines for the dragons. Seems like the single target might be a little lower than it should be. It's fun though. Single target's great. AoE was feeling really good. Good combat setup, guys. Constantly having something to do. It's always an enjoyable feel when you have something to do. You're not waiting on cooldowns. It is a button masher, that's for sure, but some people enjoy that play, other people don't. I do. I always like having the button to push. Looks like we may almost have this guy down. Down he goes. Key to the halls. Ooh, I got an artifact item.
Before you lies your next trial. Defeat both Persia and Fenrir, and you will...
So as you guys end up getting these, you just mark it right into the location it goes to. And it gives you +1 to your abilities. And some artifact power. Oh! Didn't see the lightning line there. It's alright, happens to the best of us, I guess. Go ahead and take off and get caught back up. So far, it's playing really nice. Very enjoyable. Getting back into the combat here. Didn't realize we had that guy tied in there, otherwise I would have looked for it and avoided it. Here it is. Huge AE. Go ahead and help out with that. Crash Lightning's just absolutely awesome, guys. See that Demonology Warlock using its crackle or whatever it is. Alright, time for this Sentinel. It's kind of a dangerous spot. He needs to really move it back. And that's why. Step out of the way. This isn't working out too well, but we're gonna pop some wolves here. Get some self-healing out. Yeah, lost it. Tank could have pulled that back a little bit and we wouldn't have had this issue. Unfortunately, that's what happens though. It's all a learning process. This is still fairly new. They're putting out invites daily. You know, well, not daily, but they're still putting invites out, and some people just don't know the stuff yet. The tank probably, I'm gonna guess, probably has done this before, but maybe thought he could get away with it. I don't know. Either way, we'll get running back up here and get the rest done. I believe we got the one pat down, so no worries on that. Yeah, we got just the one. Oh no, we didn't even get the pat down. There he is. We got one of the other guys. He's gonna get both of them. Yeah, this is gonna be bad. Try and get this capacitor totem down. There we go. Pretty rough, but we got it. The instant cast lightning bolt, very little damage, but comes in handy when you can't get to the mob. Looks like we're gonna get 3 in that one too. And that artifact ability just hits so hard. And it looks like he's wanting to pull everything here, so we'll just head to the other side real quick. Shamans still seem to be the king of interrupts. I mean, wind shear, 12-second cooldown, guys. Doesn't matter what spec you're in, it's always the same, so just keep that in mind whenever you're playing. Really wish I knew how much damage we were doing here. They don't have logs or Scata available. And the last few times I've done logs, they've been pretty broken. Just making bosses mix in with trash and reading wrong. It's just been weird. Otherwise, I'd end up running that too. Get that interrupt out. Crash Lightning being on a low cooldown too doesn't really matter too much if they end up moving you too far. You can just get it replaced. If this were on a longer cooldown, like how Earthquake is live for Elemental Shamans, that would do a lot of... it'd have a lot of issues. But currently it's not bad. Really doesn't seem like Maelstrom's too much of an issue either. Especially if you're proccing, Wind Flurry a lot, you end up gaining 4 per auto attack, so that just helps out a ton. Haste by far is going to be a huge difference once you start getting good haste. Looks like Haste and Mastery might be your best bets. Kind of how it is on live. Pop that artifact cooldown, see how quick this guy nukes. Get that interrupt up. Stand behind the tank, let him soak it all. Very fun class. Yeah, the class in general's been changed to be really fun, guys. But this spec is absolutely insane on how well it's playing. Huge damage. I mean, I really can't say huge damage. It's just a lot of steady, mediocre damage, really. This might be dangerous. Hopefully the bear pulls it to the side. Alright, so the bear has no clue at what to do. Definitely not the way this should be playing out, guys. They should not have both of them stacked up to 14.
You will pollute these halls no more!
Thank you, self-healing. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and pop here once this is clear. And back down. Hopefully they can get it. This is just... I'm gonna... If it dies, I'll let him know, but... I don't know if he's going to get it or not because of how many stacks. 24 stacks of both. That's just absolutely insane.
You will pollute these halls no more!
But keeping it right down the middle with both, that's impossible. Any one of the DPS get targeted by one of her abilities, it's going to just nuke us. I've tanked this place on every spec, actually, which is kind of funny. This is the main one that ends up getting chosen. But, yeah, tanked it on every spec, and I tell you what, it's not that hard of a tank. Especially now since they've gone through and they've done some retuning to this dungeon already. Hopefully, even with the survivability that I have, I mean, hopefully they'll end up tanking it to one side and actually doing the mechanic right instead of just hanging tight and, you know, beating it up wherever the hell they please. Right down the middle is not going to work. But again, people are learning. This is the alpha. It's all new content. With a little bit more DPS, we should be able to do this fairly easy also. Still gotta say, this is a little overpowered on Doom wins. There we go. Go ahead and toss a lust. So far, so good. There we go. Easy enough. Looks like he's got it now. Toss out some healing rains. I'm sorry, rainfall. Help the healer out a bit. I love the utility on that spell, and all you have to do is keep DPS and just keep it up, guys. Awesome stuff. Healing Rain meets Conductivity, and now you have Rainfall, new talent for survivability. There we go. Down she goes. Alright, so we're off to the next boss over here. Fenrir. Got us some, you know, I mean, that's the thing, guys. Like I keep saying, this is alpha. People are still learning it. Some people are playing specs and classes that they never have played before. Just a test. And, you know, it causes some issues, but not a lot. Just gotta let some of them know what to look for. That I-beam, that's what keeps wrecking all the trash on the AE. Huge damage coming out of him. Demon Hunter's I-beam's just tearing him up. So here we are, the hunting grounds. We'll be getting to Fenrir hopefully real soon. Not too many extra pulls. They have adjusted this place quite a bit. The wolves still hurt real bad. But outside of that, everything else is fairly decent to work with. Yeah, rotation-wise, guys, single target or AE, this is pretty easy to do. Basically, what you're going to want to do is drop your Crash Lightning, because it seems to do some good damage on everybody, single target or AE. And then just run through a single target rotation, which right now, applying Flame Tongue, making sure you got enough Maelstrom with Rock Biter, and then using Lava Lash and Storm Strike on cooldown when they're up is the main thing. And then switching in Doom Winds, which is your artifact ability. Doom Winds hits like a truck too. Just watch this guy. I just clicked it, and he's gonna just melt. I mean, just completely melted. That's probably going to be pretty insane in PvP also. Get your hands on the healer and just make it disappear, guys. What it does is unleashes the inner power of the Doom Hammer, causing all auto attacks to trigger Wind Fury, and increases the damage of Wind Fury by 400% over 6 seconds. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's like some insane damage. There we go, use it again and just watch it melt. I mean, also we had I-beams on there, so that didn't really help too much, but you can just see that damage to where it's blowing up. Nothing but yellow, high yellow numbers coming off of the body. Hopefully this bear doesn't get too excited. It may not make this. Just melted. This group's really high on the AE damage. That's the fastest I've seen that pull go down, guys. Huge damage off of this group on AE. We never actually pulled the dog. I'm not seeing him. I think they completely skipped him. And it looks like the bridge bug's still here. Yeah, there he is. He's over here. So we're cleared up to the second hole at least. Pull these last few bears and then we'll get right after it. It's huge damage. I feel like I'm getting capped on Maelstrom a little more than I usually would. I don't know why that is, but it just feels like this keeps capping up and I can't use it fast enough at some points, and then other points it just straight through the roof. So I don't know if they increase the health on these bosses or not, but it really seems like they're taking a lot longer than what the trash does now. Keep our healing rain up there. I'm sorry, rainfall. It's a great utility, especially while we're all getting this little blood stacking on us. And there he goes, he's retreating. Good stuff. We'll head over to the second location. Oh, looks like they went right into it. It's all good. Scent of blood's out. It's going to eat the healer. Spread out for the blood debuff. I can't see who he's after. Oh! Demon Hunter, chewed up. Apparently it went AFK or might have DC'd. We'll wait until after this next scent for blood. It's after the Warlock this time. Looks like the Warlock's gonna kite pretty well. There we go, and we're gonna go ahead and pop our cooldowns and make this guy really wish he wasn't alive. Again, helping out with this rainfall seems like seems a lot better than what it would be. It's going back on the Druid. Currently sitting at 4 stacks of this debuff. Just not enough damage with the other one down. But we got it. Looks like we got a piece of loot too, so go ahead and equip that bad boy. And I think the DK was AFK because it ended up getting a battle res and it still didn't come back. Or Demon Hunter. This is kind of nice. You get a buff that makes you run faster than mount speed, actually. 150% instead of 100%. We're all in combat, so no one's going to be able to leave here. And here we are, heading back to the last 2 bosses. No change, guys. Like I keep saying, single target's the same as AoE. It might get boring after a while. But currently it's fun, it's enjoyable, fast-paced. Yeah, this is gonna hurt. I hate this pull. Ouch. That's the reason why. Oh, it looks like they bring you right here now instead of having to run the whole thing until after you kill these guys. That's nice. All except for the fact that getting in melee range on these guys sucks. And that's why, because no matter what, they're going to cast that crap. Sometimes it's just a pain to be melee. Yeah, that's painful. No matter what, these guys hurt. That little lightning that they put on the ground is painful. And you got to take two of them, and it's really hard to end up watching where they're facing while you're going through the rest of the DPS rotation. So melee, I wish you the best on that pull. It's a lot easier as range because you got a little bit of time to react. Plays well. Not gonna lie, this is playing really well. Fun. It's enjoyable. It feels like I've only played a few melee classes, but it feels like melee's gotten a really good buff. We'll go kill this thing. He doesn't want to drag that over, but at least we got to it quick enough. I can't stress this enough, but this artifact ability feels really overpowered. The increase on Wind Fury is just insane. This is a level 100 dungeon, though. It may actually balance out fairly well at 110. Just melted that guy. Those ancestors can be handled pretty well by one range DPS, but I'd rather not take the chance of it getting to him and exploding. There we go. Now that that guy's out of the way, we'll go ahead and focus this one down. Maybe. Good damage, guys. The survivability out of this extra healing rain, too, is probably helping out. I know any little bit of healing, even on the smallest amount, seems to help. That's two ancestors out this time. Down goes Hoder. Kick it into overdrive using that artifact ability. Pretty good group so far. Playing very well. Yeah, I should have interrupted that. Too busy talking. Now hopefully this isn't still broken. I tried doing this dungeon the other day, and the Aegis was not working, so people were just getting nuked.
vanquishers have already taken possession of it, Scoville, as was their right.
Looks like the demon hunter is going to take care of the shield. Bears news, so probably better that way.
Not you the Aegis by choice. Give up the Aegis or die! By flame be stirred.
Looks like the shield's back to working again, which is good. Because this does so much damage if you don't get behind the shield. It's ridiculous. And it wasn't working at all.
The Aegis goes to its rightful owner.
Shield did not last long in his hands. And this guy's just getting tore up. Huge damage in this group. I've had this guy last like almost 7 minutes with everybody up, and this is going really well. I'm gonna say it's all the enhancement shaman's doing. Yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it, guys. I'm not running logs or anything, so I'm not 100% sure. But so far it's been playing wonderfully. Instantly remove that shield off of him. We're gonna end up going straight into Odin here. Huge damage. I'll pop Lust on that second phase and really...
I never thought I would meet anyone who could match the Valajar's strength. There is one final trial that awaits. Me. Should you triumph, I will carve your names in these sacred halls myself and grant you a reward worthy of your valor. It has been ages since I've faced a worthy opponent. Let the battle begin!
We did open up using the using Doom Winds, which is our artifact ability, but I believe 45 seconds it'll be off cooldown for us to use it again.
Anything you have yet faced!
Swords are going to blow up here in a second. Just got to make sure we watch out for them because we're dangerously close.
Let us see if your wits are as sharp as your weapons.
Oh, I got hit by it. And killed. So much for that. We were way too close to him. I get the watch from the stands over here. And I'm silenced, so. General base mechanics, guys. If you see something on the ground that doesn't look right, move away from it if you're tanking. Again, people are trying specs that they're not used to now that they've got alpha access, just to end up seeing how everything's playing. And no blame going out there at all. It's just you gotta end up paying attention to your surroundings if you're tanking. That's for dang sure. Actually, any class right now. There's a lot of stuff in here that really, really causes some major damaging effects. So just something to think about. They should have this either way, so I'm not too worried. I am unworthy. Odin has defeated me because I could not see that one orb passing through his body. And then I think he turned and kicked me, so. Shucks and darn it. Oh well. But the rest of them should end up having this.
My power is beyond anything you have yet faced!
Yeah, in this fight, you aren't allowed to battle res, nothing. Basically, if you die, you get this unworthy debuff, and a Valkyr carries you up to the stands. And you get to stand here and watch like a noob. Kind of a neat mechanic. Really ends up, you know, destroying you a bit. But hey, like I said, the tank's learning, nothing big. We'll end up getting through this. They killed it, and we'll go back to some open world questing, see how it's doing as we queue for another, unless these guys want to queue for another. Somebody mentions something or queues it, we'll take it. Because it's always better to have a tank and a healer in the group with you. And doesn't look like it so far. So I'm going to go ahead and drop and get back to the real world.
I can't use that item yet.
So yeah, you can keep spamming dungeons and get these items, the artifact, that give artifact power. They end up putting them right into, well, they're supposed to end up giving them to you to where you've got the artifact power tokens that come in here. And then you can see that there's another one here. You know, you use it and it gives you artifact power, but it doesn't look like they are actually implemented to give them to you yet at the end of the dungeon. First one's 25, and everyone after that's consistently saying 15. Hopefully we can get another one. We're sitting at 11:12. If we can get it at least 1 minute before the noon hour, we'll play it all the way through. Till then, let's keep looking at how this is playing out. And again, live, this may be tuned a bit, but currently it's just absolutely insane. The damage on this is rocking. Survivability is really good. And boom. Nothing lives too long at all. Oh. Apparently that place is zoned out for us. We gotta go release some tarin. We've done the spray and pay and kicked some fish into the water. I think this is going to quest out real nice, guys, especially if you have a main enhanced shaman, something that's going to have gear. You're going to just tear through this stuff like no tomorrow. I mean, it does enough damage already, just with the artifact weapon and abilities, but look at that. Just huge chunks coming out of that guy. And there's nothing. I mean, there's really nothing to consider except for, you know, this is a 680 or 694 because I did get a couple upgrades in that last. But at 694, and most of that being your artifact weapon at right now my artifact's at 785, and that's because I got a an upgrade item inside this last dungeon. Normally they're 750, and it was still doing great at the 750 mark. And it's well played. Single target and AE situations are going to be superb for this guy. The Enhancement Shaman's basically playing the same for both. There's no rotational differences, nothing like that. You're just playing the same deal. Just make sure you've got Crash Lightning down 100% for your AE situations, and you'll do just fine. It's not required for single target, but I see this doing a lot of extra damage. It just feels like it's doing more for single target, unlike just doing single target items. So we've got someone over by a cave here. Finish out that quest. There it is. Give us some speed boost.
Hail.
Crit haste or crit mastery. I'm gonna say, oh, that's a lot of lost haste from that. We'll take this one here.
May the eternal sun shine.
Upgrades are always hard, man. Especially since they never give you the stats that you're really wanting to go for. I think haste mastery is probably going to be one of the better builds. Yeah, it's just way overpowered. It's a very blistering spec. I have been here a few times, so we'll drag this fish up with this fishing pole and kill it real quick also. Just watch the damage and just use the artifact ability and it just nukes on it. Pop our other artifact abilities. Yeah, Ascendance really lets you spam your other cooldowns a lot. Tops you up on Maelstrom and just makes you a beast. Survivability is great also. Huh, we got a male chest. Equip, warming up. I don't know what that means. But flame scale male. We'll go ahead and equip that, see what it does. Don't see nothing out of the ordinary. And the beautiful part about being a shaman is water walking. No need to go digging for that Azure Strider or whatever. If you even have it. Just cast it and run. The play is nice, so.
How may I aid you? Goodbye.
Okay, we gotta go open this thing, finish it out. Currently sitting, all we need is a tank, guys. 7 minutes into the queue. Hopefully things play out nicely and we'll get this thing and we'll get another dungeon in. If so, that'll be some of the fastest queues I've seen. Most of these dungeons, I've seen them overcrowded real bad, though, with, they've been really overcrowded with melee, and you wouldn't think that would be a huge issue, except some of the mechanics just completely wreck melee if they end up getting them. Without having that range to do some of the kiting on it, it's just painful. Hopefully they'll get something worked out with the dungeon queues. Come live, they'll be able to do more because more people will be wanting to queue. But right now, it's a little rough.
Hail. Farewell.
Come on, tank. Head on over to this cave real quick. Drogbar or Earth Fury slain, and then 10 empowered crystals. Alright. That doesn't prove a point, guys. Just absolutely insane amounts of damage. Go run it in there. Drop down your rainfall for your extra healing and just keep it up while you damage. Unless they evade. Just use the artifact ability. He's not going to last long. Absolutely insane. I've done this on a couple tunes, guys, and I really haven't had the survivability. Like this pull right here, all these extra adds has killed me multiple times, and I'm going to just do it for the hell of it, see how we played out. This is almost too easy with this pull. Like I said, it's always pulls everything in this little, in this corridor. And I've done this multiple times, but man, this is just... I did use some cooldowns on there. I did have to self-heal a bit, but the sustained... Being able to go through and do this kind of work on any class and just tearing it up that much. We just took on like 8 or 9 mobs. And most of this, you can't end up doing that at all. We are still level 100. As you can see, 697 item level. Most of that's due to the artifact and the fact that we got a artifact token. That's adding, it adds 4 item levels on there. That seems like it jumped up a lot more than 4 because it's originally 750. But still, it's absolutely overpowered. The real world feel to it, guys, it's great. It's really great. The damage is insane. We did have this person over here doing some healing to us, but again, I've done this on other classes, and you die really quick due to the damage. But the survivability, the cooldown usage, it works. It works really well. And neither one of those is going to be better than what we've got, but we'll go ahead and just select it so we can continue on questing. The way they have Crash Lightning in here, doing the damage, both single target and AE. I mean, you just run your normal AE, single target rotation. You run it, and you're going to be doing your AoE damage also just by having the mob standing in it. So, plays out very nicely. The Doom Winds is also very overpowered.
Don't have a target.
Open world, this is pretty strong. And here we are, dungeon queue number 2. Let's get in here and destroy something. Alright, Blackrick Hold. This is going to give us an idea of what it does at 110. We did do Halls of Valor earlier, and at level 100 it felt really strong still. I am not running any logs or anything, so I don't know how it's actually doing. But we will see. Both healer and tank are offline, so... there we go. They're just having troubles loading in. Looks like everyone's in. It looks like they're getting adjusted up. And as soon as they're all ready, we'll get pulling on this. Quick look at the talents I ended up taking, guys. You can always go to the beginning and see exactly what they are and what I'm running with. So, feels good. With what I've selected, you still got some good cooldowns out of it. So, open up. Hitting our Doom wins, and we'll just tear this guy a new one. So at 110, the trash is lasting longer, actually. We have a Shadow Priest and a Rogue. I'm not sure what spec the Rogue is. We'll check it out here in a second. But still, the play feels really good. I mean, you've always got something to end up hitting. If I had to put it in comparison with anything, the way the button smashing is, it's almost like BC Fury Warrior, guys. Where you always hit a button. 45-second cooldown on Doom wins. That's awesome. I would interrupt this guy, but keeping it on cooldown already. So as you can see, really huge huge single target damage, and then you've got some excellent cleave to go along with it. No more Fire Nova spam, unfortunately. And oh hey, 101. Doesn't matter, we're scaled up to 110 already. There's the pull. I am using a talent for some additional survivability for the group here. The rainfall is actually healing waves and conductivity mixed together, so the more damage I do, the better off. I'm going to back off and heal ourselves real quick. That's what I'm saying, guys. This has got some insane survivability if you know how to play it. For every 20 Maelstrom, you can basically do an instant cast healing surge. Some huge damage going out, but it looks like we're going to be alright. Just to make sure, though, we'll stand back and help out with the tank. We'll go ahead and hit that Doom Winds and make sure this ghostly retainer just dies. Get some little off healing done here just to help. No point in letting people die if you can help out, right? Of course, it's going to drop your top end on DPS, but if any of you do progressive rating, you know how important that can end up being. It's not a lot of healing. At this level, actually, it's doing 115,000 heals, but you're looking at over 1 million, so 1/10 of their health, but it's enough to actually keep them alive if it comes down to it. And for 20 Maelstrom, it's a free cast, guys. Well, not free, but it costs 20 Maelstrom. It's normally a 1.63 second cast, but consuming up to 20 Maelstrom to reduce its cooldown all the way to instant. So you can pop these up, help yourself out, help others out, and just get this to where it takes care of itself. Now we're gonna hopefully this guy turns him more. Let's go ahead and get our cooldowns popped. Looks like we may need it. Oh, got hit by the cleave. He needs to really pull that back a little bit more. As you can see, I wasn't even far into him, but he does a 180 straight cleave all the way from left to right across. So it looks like it's going to be a death. So we'll go ahead and get ran back in here. Bunch of silly mistakes, but hey, stuff happens. Looks like our healer is dead. We'll go ahead and give him a res. Hopefully he comes back up. Which healers you're going to get used to running back because a lot of classes don't. They have no way of healing you unless you've got another healer. Or I'm sorry, resing. And the range on this is horrible. Not going to be able to reach him. So we'll see how this plays. Yeah, not going to be able to reach it. Maybe the tank will. I'm not going to take the chance though of pulling it. Looks like we're going to be waiting for a healer. No big deal. Again, we'll just end up waiting. Shouldn't take too long to get a healer back. I should end up this week also, for those of you watching, I should end up having my tanking, the alpha tanking guide up on which one's doing a little bit better than the others, at least by my own personal perspective. So for those of you checking in and wanting to see about that, I'll have gameplay videos of both the Prot Warrior and the Feral or Guardian Druid. Sorry. They'll be coming up real soon. What we'll end up looking at with those, it's not going to be just, who's doing better on the tanking, but it's also going to be, okay, which one's playing better, which one's more fun to play. Everything else is still a number tuning, but I'm going to go off of what feels good to play, what feels like it's strong enough to end up keeping you alive. I mean, you're going to look at a couple different things with survivability, but all of it is still subject to change, guys, because it is alpha. We are still in testing. But it'll just be a fun little video from this point forward. What are we looking at? Currently streaming for 2 hours and 39 minutes. We've got about 26 minutes left, but in a dungeon, so we'll stick this thing out. As long as this tank doesn't leave and this group doesn't fall apart, we should be good. But this is a level 110 dungeon. It's a nice comparison because we just had a level 100 dungeon, Halls of Valor. It played out very nicely. Again, the rotation all seems about the same. But at level 110 here, it seems like we're doing really well also. So, again, guys, we're just waiting on a healer. Currently just waiting. We'll end up, the bad part about it is heals and tanks are so scarce. But guys, these models, these new tanks, the new dungeons in general are looking really, really well. Hopefully we can end up keeping a little bit more of them. While we wait, though, I am going to take a real quick bio. It shouldn't take too much longer. Alright, currently still waiting on a healer. I'd almost offer my services just to get through this, but I do not have the artifact weapon. And I don't know how well I would end up doing, so without it. They've really got a lot of emphasis for these dungeons in that artifact weapon. Looks like our rogue went offline. And the tank left. Well, that's always fun. You get into some good ones, you get into some bad ones. And unfortunately, this is one of the bad ones. People just wanting to, you know, they have a DC, they want to kick the person, and then they end up running away. It's how it is, guys. It's just the way some of the WoW rep is lately. You get some really good players that are decent and they want to do everything just right, and then you get some that are tearing it up. We'll go ahead and rip this guy a new one though. Mind you, this is a quest NPC. Got turned to stone, and this guy's gonna come over and mess with us a bit. So he gets a little bit of a healing off. No biggie. We're gonna stop him real quick. I got stunned by something. Doesn't matter. The damage is insane, guys, compared to some of them. Absolutely fun. And we're going to go ahead and run out of here real quick. Not sure which way is going to be fastest, but either way, Ghost Wolf's going to end up taking the cake. Well, with this all being said, guys, it's 20 minutes till we end up getting out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just cut this thing so we can start rendering and people can get to the spots they want to see. We'll go ahead and cut it a little early. Lost our dungeon, unfortunately. I'm not going to queue for another one because that was just a waste of time there, and it probably will not queue in 20 minutes. So, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm going to say thanks for watching, and again, guys, if you got any questions on the Enhancement Shaman, do let me know. They are seeming really fun, really strong, and I kind of like the fact that their AE is going to be mixed in with their normal rotation. Not a lot extra to learn here. They did simplify it, but at the same time, is it going to be too simple to where it gets boring later? That's going to be the main question. But until we find that one out, guys, thank you. If you enjoyed yourself, like, subscribe. I've always got more content coming out. And I really hope you enjoyed yourself. I mean, that's the main thing about it, is knowing that you enjoyed yourself. Thanks again, guys.